What is up, everybody? It's another Lazy Boy Sunday, y'all. What's going on? Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight on another Lazy Boy Sunday. We have a special guest tonight coming on. We told y'all in October we're going to have guests coming back on, so get ready for that in a few minutes. We're going to bring them in. Whack Toy Picks, so please stick around for that. Hope everybody's been doing okay, having a good one, man. Enjoying their Sunday, not doing anything too extravagant, but at the same time, relaxing. So, it's been an interesting toy haul weekend. Big Bad unloaded the dump truck on me. Happy to say that I have the new Luffy, Romance Dawn, East Blue, pre-time skip Luffy. And he's actually pretty solid. He's actually really cool as a figure. One of SH's better One Piece releases. And I can say that because I can compare it to my OG one that I had, and there's definitely a huge difference in the OG Luffy here, left or right, whichever, and the brand new one that came out from SH. So it's a huge difference. There's even a slight difference between this pre-time skip Luffy and the post-time skip Luffy. The difference between these two as well. The post-time skip, when he's actually as thin as Luffy is, this one's actually a little bit more muscular to show the 2 year difference. And you can completely tell by his calves. Pre-time skip over here has more muscular calves because he's older and trained, and this is post time or pre-time skip one, and he's thinner because the post one's trained more. He's got a little bit. His fist is bigger. His fist is bigger than pre-time skip. Shoulders are a little bit bigger, so he's about the same height, but this post-time skip Luffy is actually a little bit larger. So they actually did a new mold to some degree. What up, Clintastic? We bring in another one of our distinguished hosts.
What up? What up?
So yeah, I was just showing people while waiting everybody to get in here that there is a slight difference between post-time skip Luffy and pre-time skip Luffy that I just got. Like there actually is a slight difference in the body mold. Like this guy is a little bit bigger than him. He's skinnier, as he should be. So, but this one's engineered way better than this one is. This one's
I definitely didn't like the first release at all. Did they give him his stretchy arms finally?
That's an accessory pack that you order separate. So, but I already got accessory packs for this guy off of HK Toy or HK Toy Box, and he's got I got his stuff for post time skip. They're releasing SH Figure Arts himself is releasing stuff for him. What up, Clintastic? Thanks for joining us, brother.
Clintastic in the house.
But yeah, it's a difference. There's a slight difference, man. So, but they can't. Big Bad came with a bunch of. I got this guy. He's a different thing. He's the side
dope. Okay.
He's the other version of side cutter. I like the green
one. Oh, that's dope, dude.
Yeah, he's more horror to me than the other one. But he comes with the coat and the overcoat stuff like the original ones. But I like the green, and I like
the fur.
Yeah, and the Jason Voorhees knapsack.
The hood, yeah,
like it's cool. He's cool.
I never even saw that one.
Yeah, he came out a while back, and then they had him up on Big Bad. Big Bad's got a lot of old Mezco that you might have missed in stock. Speaking of which,
oh shit,
I've always wanted this guy, but I wasn't willing to pay a lot for him. But they had him on sale, So
Nice.
dark side. I could actually like physically harm somebody with this dude. He's the heaviest figure of this size I own by far. Because he's made out of polystone or something.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's heavy as shit.
Are
Like
the eyes lit up?
mm-hmm.
Dope.
They light up. He's got the mother box
Dope.
that attaches to the back of his belt on a magnet. He's cool. And I got this guy. This dude is heavy. I just dropped him. But he's heavy, but he's nowhere near as heavy as Darkseid.
Oh, he looks good.
Yeah, he's cool. I wanted him, and I missed him when he first came out, so I'm happy that Big Bad they gave some stock to Big Bad, so I can get him at cost. So that was
yeah, dude. You got the Christmas mother load in, didn't you?
Yeah, I know, bro. I wasn't expecting that, and most of it was the Marvel Legend wave to build Blackheart, and I got to build Blackheart because I got Ghost Rider and got those other guys. So I mean, it's that was a no brainer to get Blackheart and whatnot. But yeah, man, I realized I got a lot of Mezcos lately. So what the hell?
Yeah, I've got a lot of figure arts, so I feel you.
I noticed, yeah.
Speaking of deals, I got some things in while we wait on Blitz.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Some pieces I've been looking for a while. So my comic shop posted there was a guy who turned in a figure arts collection.
Yeah.
So they had a bunch of Marvel figure arts for cheap.
Wow.
So I was able to get the Final Battle Captain America.
Nice.
And the Hall of Armor Iron Man 2.
Oh, sick. Iron Man 2. That's dope.
I paid $65 for this guy.
Yes.
$60 for this one.
Oh, that's perfect. I mean, you can't beat. That's good price.
And yeah, these are the two staples that I've wanted from figure arts.
Yes.
You got to have the founding two members. And I already have a Thor too. So.
Oh, nice. So you're good. Let's go. What's up?
Yeah. So he the reason I wanted him was he comes with two Tony Stark head sculpts with the sunglasses too.
Oh, nice.
But so I don't know what this guy must have been like a heavy smoker or something. Yeah. Because when I took these figures out of the box, they stunk to high heaven.
Wow.
I ended up having to wash the entire figure, all the accessories, because they do it.
I just hear like rumbling.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Okay. Hold on.
Stop now.
Yeah, I think because. Okay. Oh, I think.
Did Blitz pop back in?
You know, he muted him, so I guess he's trying to get his mic together.
Word.
We'll get in a second. But no, that's crazy. So you had to like deep clean them.
Yeah, so I took the figures apart, cleaned it head to toe, all the accessories.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad, dude.
Wow.
But I mean, like, they're used, definitely. Yeah, but like, I mean, they're a little loose, but I mean, they're older figure arts, so I mean, it's kind of, and plus it's figure arts too. But I mean, they stand, like, they hold their pose. They're nice. You can't beat the price. So
no, hell no, bro. That's why I said that's why I
jump on it.
That's why I got the dark side, because he was $50 cheaper than if you find him on eBay, and that's a low price on eBay.
Yeah, because he's a pretty penny.
Yeah, he jumped up, so I was like, man, I'm getting this immediately. It's all good. Well, we'll go ahead and bring on our guest while we wait on Bliss to get.
Oh yeah.
We got White Toy Picks with us, so let's bring him in and see what he has to say today. What's up?
Hey.
Hey, fellas. What's going on?
What's going on, brother? Thank you for joining us first and foremost. We appreciate you spending the Sunday night with us, man. It's very much appreciated. Thanks for joining us first and foremost.
Thanks for having me and for inviting me up. I've never done anything like this. So I apologize if I come off stupid.
Oh no, bro.
No worries.
Look, you're on the Lazy Boyz show. Hint the name Lazy Boyz. So
and there's a bunch of
this
stupid on this show, so you're in good company.
Yeah, you're in good. Green is right. It's all just we chill, we have fun, talk about toys, talk about stuff, and just kind of have fun talking about the hobby and whatnot. But before we get into talking about the hobby like that, what we like to do when we bring our guests in, and we like to get some info on you guys and just see what brought you to the toy community, what brought you into toy photography, and how you came about your handle, some things like that. Just tell the people a little bit something about you.
One thing before, Benny just texted me, said he's having audio and video trouble. So
okay, all right,
yeah,
we got him.
He's working on it.
We got him.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I just wanted to make sure I'm seeing the right thing, but I'm the only one. I can only see myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to be. All right. Cool. Yeah. So what can I tell you? I had a pretty crappy childhood. So when I started getting a little bit of expendable money, I don't know, my late 20s and 30s, started kind of hunting for some nostalgic stuff that brought me joy, right?
Yes.
Like happy memories.
Right.
I had collected different things over the years, but by my mid 20s, I had sold most of it because I was moving around like up and down the East Coast every other year for my career. And I needed money. So, but by the time I was about 32, I hit a high with my career and met my wife, and just had a little bit more money and started getting back into the hobby. Then, like G.I. Joe, the 25th anniversary had come out like just a couple years prior, so I'd been getting into that. Like Transformers had started making a bunch of the G1 characters again that kind of looked like the G1 counterparts. From that time too. So I had collected comics really all my life. Comics got me in the drawing, and because I was terrible at school, horrible at math and science and most subjects, but I was pretty good at art and I liked to draw. I think it has just a lot to do with like me being ADHD and just not ever. I mean, back in the 80s and 90s. They just didn't diagnose it as much.
That's right.
But I couldn't read a book like front cover to back cover. I couldn't read it without, like, I just couldn't. My mind would go to a million different places. So I don't know, man. By the time I was 3 or 4, I could read a full comic, and I loved it. The art grabbed me, like it just did. And I was able to keep my attention. So I developed this love for the art and for drawing the characters and everything. Early on and throughout my early upbringing, as things were kind of tumultuous, I would go to my sketch pad and I would draw whatever I saw, or my favorite characters out of the comics I was buying, or like the cartoons I was watching, or but yeah. So comics, I've kind of been in and out of my whole life. And that got me into drawing. Drawing got me into art. I kind of followed that track through high school. And then when college came around, it was time to pick a major. And I was like, I don't know what I could possibly be good at. Like I had this dream of like being a comic book penciler. But I also knew I needed health insurance. So that kind of like going anywhere very quickly. So when college came around, I decided on graphic design after a couple of years of kind of following the wrong girls around to the wrong colleges. And eventually finished my degree in graphic design and got into the field and just started working my way up because I was really poor. So anyway, fast forward 10 to 15 years later, I got a pretty decent sized collection again, and I've gotten married, and we're about to move to North Carolina, which is where we live now.
Hey, that's where I'm at.
Who's that? I'm sorry, because I can only see myself.
No, sorry, it's Green.
Oh,
Yeah,
where at?
I'm in Charlotte.
Shut the front door.
Where are you at?
I'm in Mooresville.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Right. I mean, like anyone outside of NC, I see I'm from Charlotte because Mooresville's just a suburb, really. But
Right.
yeah, man. I mean, we've been here for I want to say 5 years because my son was not. I don't even think it was a year old when we moved here. And now he's 7,
Wow.
so probably at least 5 years. Well, we were in Charlotte for the first, I want to say 3 years, like Mountain Island area, and then moved to Mooresville and became homeowners. But
Okay.
anyhow,
dude, that's awesome. Heck yeah.
Yeah, we gotta hang out. Like, I don't have any actual
I'm
friends.
originally from Statesville. I moved to Charlotte about 7 years ago.
Okay. Well, I mean, still, that's like, I mean, you're local compared to me. Like, I'm from Miami, Florida originally, and went to school all over Florida and kind of lived all over the East Coast. But that's cool, man. Like, now that I know that, we'll have to hang out at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, sorry to give you a little bit more background on my story here. Yeah, I was 35 or so, married. My first son here, or my only son, was on the way, and I'd almost completely kind of filled my modern GI Joe collection and most of the vehicles like that I wanted to get for the new figures, because they didn't make so many of the vehicles for the 25th, like just the really few. But like the Havoc and all the other deeper dives, like they never did. So I would get the old ones at like local toy shows, and I would like Dremel out the leg spaces so that the larger 25th anniversary figures, which are 4 inches usually, like as a true 3.75, could actually fit into the cockpits and the driver's seats of the old like 80s vehicles.
Oh, good idea. Oh, that's cool.
I mean, because I was in Raleigh when we first moved to North Carolina. I was in Raleigh. We were in Raleigh for, I want to say, almost 2 years, and Chromatic Toys is there, and I bought a bunch of like the GI Joe vehicles from there. I remember like getting a Night Raven set, like the old Night Raven, not the movie one. That was like 95% complete or something for nothing much at all. Wow. But my Strato Vipers, the modern ones, would not fit, and like scrunched them all up. Like, if you couldn't close the canopy. So yeah, I picked up Dremeling and learned how to use a Dremel, and so yeah. And anyways, I know I'm going all over the place, but no. I mean, I've been a nerd all my life. I think I did a pretty good job of hiding it when I was trying to attract women. But like after I kind of made it a little bit in my career and had a little bit of like status for 10 seconds, and was able to attract my wife, like I let her in very slowly. Hey, like I'm a nerd, like I collect these things. I had at the time I was living in Baltimore, and it was just me and my dog, my beloved dog, who lived with me until she was 15 and then passed, unfortunately. Sorry. I mean, like I'm still emotional about her, but it was just me and my dog, and we were in a townhouse in Baltimore, and I would rent a townhouse because I always wanted a yard for her to run around in. But most of the townhouse, including like the basement and all but the room that I slept in, were empty. So one of those rooms was usually like my workspace, just to do like freelance work and whatnot. And then I had like one shelving unit from IKEA, and I would put like the cream of the crop stuff that I'd been collecting like in there, and I had like a bunch of artwork, just from like going to Baltimore Comic Con, which is pretty darn big actually. And then in DC they have Awesome Con, which started small but then like got really big really quickly. The different Wizard Worlds in Philadelphia, like there in Baltimore, you can get to all those cities within like an hour and a half.
Oh wow!
So, I started hitting up the convention circuit a lot and going down artist alleys. So that was like an entire office space filled with framed original art from artist alley people, and then like a small part of my collection. And And so I just remember like when she came to visit me for the first time, I'm like, I'm gonna let you see what's behind this door. You know, I'm not ashamed of it, but at the same time, you know, I'm ashamed of it. So, no, I mean, despite that, she stayed with me for some reason, and a year later, I proposed to her. A year after that, we got married,
Nice.
and now
Nice.
we have our son, and we have
Nice.
our foster daughter,
Nice.
who is kind of like the topic of maybe why I'm here today.
Okay.
So I had gotten into toy photography just as a hobby because, like I was telling Green, I moved around so much, and then becoming a dad and everything. Like you just don't have time to be social,
Right.
and even if you do, you don't have the energy. Like especially
Right.
when kids are young. And so we've moved around so much for the last decade that I haven't really built any relationships, and so like I would buy a figure or something, and you know I'm late 30s, early 40s, and it's not like I'd sit there and like play with it, right? I mean, I suppose I could, but I just never had the desire to. But I love posing them, and I love the artistry and the sculpting of it, and all these that kind of got me into art earlier on in life, and through comics, and they're all kind of intermingled, right? So I started kind of playing with my graphic design background. I knew very little about photography. I still think I know very little. As a designer and as an art director and a creative director, I've used photography like stock photography for design, but I've never really gotten behind the lens, so to speak, much. Outside of some classes I took in college, and so I've always struggled with it. So a couple months ago, I know Path the Collector.
Yeah.
He and I had been like following each other on Instagram for a couple of years because I've been doing it for like 4 years now. And I noticed he was doing these wrestling posts every with this group thing, and I was just got interested in what that was about and how it came together and all that. And probably important to mention that my son, who's now 7, about 2 years ago, started really, really getting into wrestling.
Nice.
Yeah, like he was all about trains and Thomas and trains and more trains. That was his love, his obsession. But at some point, I guess he watched some wrestling with me and my wife, because my wife would sit there and watch it with me, you know, and just got really into it. And he'd be like on the couch and trying to do all the moves. We learned about Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes became a new favorite.
Nice.
Cody Rhodes is in AEW, and so between he and I, like I was buying more wrestling figures because I buy them because I thought they were cool, right? But also because I knew he'd like them and it'd be something we could share, like play with together, you know. And so I don't know, like within the last 2 years, I'd kind of amassed a pretty decent amount of wrestling figures, and like I got the Extreme Sets backdrop. You know, at the what is it, 1/16 scale, you know, for the typical Mattel and AEW figures and whatnot, which is huge, and I had like nowhere to put it. Well, when my son starts getting into it, like we moved furniture out of one place in the house that no one was using, and I set it up there, and then like talking through Pat and whatnot about, you know, joining this group, just slowly. Actually, I used the group. I told my wife, I was like, look, this is an opportunity for me to like spread my brand, right? And like maybe get some more followers and stuff and be able to monetize this, which is likely never gonna happen. Right. It's a pipe dream, right? Like make money off your hobby. But I said there, I was like, if I can get in this group and like become a better photographer and get a better following, you know, you never know, right? Like, and so like actually swindled my way into like stealing a corner of one of the rooms. So like that's where we have the whole backdrop and the AEW entrance stage, which was the only one that I could find because it's the only one that had come out recently or whatever. And yeah, man, my son and I would just like kind of, we don't play with it because it's for photography purposes now. He's got his own setup in his own room with a ring cool. and like figures and just he's good. But Whack Toy Picks just kind of came around because I wanted to do something with the things I was enjoying, like that I enjoy visually, right? Like I enjoy collecting it for some reason. I don't sit there and play with them, but I love the art aspect of it. So I just started taking pictures and not good ones. In fact, like I'd say like really up until maybe a year or two ago, most of them were crap. Like once in a while, I might get lucky, like with just playing with some fireworks in the background or something. Like I remember taking a picture with my Sergeant Slaughter from it was Valaverse.
Okay.
Valaverse one.
Yeah.
Like the 4th of July, and he's like holding a Cobra Trooper over his head or something, and I had fireworks in the background, and it just came out really cool. But like that was probably around the time that I was getting halfway decent at it because I didn't want to do any kind of altering. I didn't want to do any kind of digital alteration or use like design because technically I could Photoshop Pig's head on every single figure or person, and
right.
No one could tell. Like I've been using Photoshop now for 25 years, but I didn't want to do that because I felt like it took away from the artistry of like being able to take the picture and like stay true to the media, right?
Yeah.
2 years goes by and like I learn about like these apps and stuff that some photographers use, and little by little, like I kind of started upping the game with little special effects you could add, or maybe like the background a bit more. So I've gotten a little further away from just keeping it purely I don't know, what do they call it? Whatever, just you take from the lens and including a little bit more like fudging digitally with the apps and whatnot. But I've yet to put any of my photos through Photoshop and actually like give it a real work over. I don't know, because I just feel like if I do that, it's cheating. And at that point, I'm no longer like playing on my phone doing it. I gotta go here to like my workstation and focus. It's no longer fun, right?
That's right.
So anyway, that's my history of collecting. That's my history of the Whack Toy Picks account. And then more recently, I should say the last 2 years or so, we one of my wife's extended family members has a little girl who was 5, I think, or 6 at the time, and the parents basically are jailbirds, like the biological parents. So we took her in. Most of our family still lives in Florida, so we had to go down there and get her and like bring her up here to North Carolina. And we've been fostering her with intention to adopt, but because I appreciate it. People typically give that reaction like, oh, we're like we're something like doing some kind of like God's work, and we're here just kind of like, no, we just didn't know what else to do, like, and it was just the 3 of us here, and like we had space, and so anyway, we brought her up, and she came to us like a rabid little, I don't know, Wolverine or something. Parents that had just never instilled any kind of discipline or values in her at all, and so it was pretty bad at the beginning. But coming from Florida to North Carolina presented its own set of problems, because basically Florida would want to own certain things, like, oh, she's a child of Florida, so she can't be a child of North Carolina, which would make it a lot easier, I guess, for her to adopt her. And we can't get any of the benefits that we would normally get, because we're here in North Carolina, so like we have no financial assistance. We've been, just kind of making way with the same amount of money or less money as the 2 years have gone by.
Right.
Inflation has gone up and everything.
Right.
While adding not just our foster daughter, but my aging mother has joined us as well.
Oh wow.
So now our house is full of love, is a good way to say it. But we're broke. And and honestly, dude, like groceries and inflation, just shit keeps going up. So
Yeah.
We're struggling to get by. Like I say, most people in the country or the world these days, and the process of adoption just is ongoing. I mean, it's we're getting a little closer, but it seems like we take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? So I had always kind of in the back of my head thought about, like, I had these ideas for t-shirt designs on just like little designer things that I'd goofed off and kind of put together in the past. And because I could never sit still, I just, like, I was in Walmart one day and they had a whole rack full of like shirts on clearance for like $1 to $3, like white, like basic colors, white, navy blue, black, gray. And I guess, because Google tracks everything you do, I started seeing ads for like direct, like DTF transfer type shirt process printing. And so I bought like one of those, stamp machines off Amazon, like $100, and got a couple of the designs printed and started doing test runs. And it's not that hard, right? There's a certain amount of like hard costs that go into it though. So I did a limited run of like 80 shirts, thinking, I don't know, maybe we could make some money off of this, at least something to like hit a credit card bill for this month. And yeah, it's kind of become almost like a GoFundMe to help us get by another month with our foster soon to be adopted daughter, because I mean, resources just they dwindle more by the month.
That's right.
So yeah, like I've got a little mini site, Can, which is my last name, KNBE nerdy.com, is where you can get them. I mean, Benny shared one of them. He was like my first customer.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
But I think maybe 3 people have bought one so far.
No, man. Trust me. I'm jumping in on that. I'm doing
absolutely.
I'm doing one thing at a time. I got a list.
No, hey, yeah. No pressure. No pressure.
I'm getting to it.
I don't market it. Like I don't, I haven't really, besides like putting a post on Facebook, which I keep private, right? So yeah, that wasn't my way of being like, hey, go get one. But if you want to, that's fantastic. I don't think, I mean, unless we make our money back and then some, I don't think I'm gonna keep doing it. I mean, maybe just like as a hobby, because maybe I want to do my own T-shirt, or like maybe I'm doing a group thing, and I don't know. Maybe like for the guys in the wrestling group, maybe I'll like put the logo on a shirt one Christmas and send the T-shirt out to everybody. But it's not really meant to be like a extensive enterprise or enterprise venture. It's just kind of meant to help us get by and have a little fun doing it. Again, using kind of like what I know in design and my nerd life, and yeah, I don't know. I think like we're not like poor. We're not, on the street. Like we're very blessed. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But shit is expensive.
Oh yeah.
Amen.
Like I don't like. I was watching your haul from this weekend, and it's awesome. By the way, I had to seriously cut back in this past year or two, just because the buck doesn't stretch, right?
That's right.
Anyways, I get most of my stuff now through like local toy stores, where I'll go and I'll trade something in, and then I'll get something back or whatever. But I'm into all the same lines, I think, that most collectors are into. So like Legends and whatever DC's doing, which McFarlane happens to have a license right now. So I've been collecting some choice figures from there. G.I. Joe Classified, obviously the Transformers Legacy line, but like really only the ones like the characters from the G1 show, right? Like I don't, I don't have a connection to it. And yeah, like just random things. Like you might like, hang on a second. You see here a cat. Well, I'm trying to point to it. No, there. Okay, Ken from Gotcha Man. G-Force.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I watched that a little bit too.
Mm.
Like down here, no, down there is some Speed Racer.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, just like random things. Oh, and then up there's some Indiana Jones, Star Trek
Yeah.
stuff.
Nice.
Anyways, that's pretty much the story. Benny was nice enough to invite me on here to promote the T-shirts and the website.
Absolutely.
canbenerdy.com. So if anyone's out there and wants to, check out a cool T-shirt, yeah, there's one design that says like nerds or foxy. We literally only have like 3 of those shirts in the medium size, and that's actually turned out to be the one that most people like most. So I kind of flubbed that. But there's an Iron Man, a Spider-Man, a Superman, and a Batman one that are like all in infographic style, very squared, very box art.
Nice.
And like Benny showed last week, they also just say like it's hip to be square, because I thought that was clever with that artwork. So yeah, you can get the T-shirts in gray and blue and light blue, dark blue, black. Kind of a good variation. But like I said, there's only 80. I think they're $25. Shipping tends to vary between like $7 to $11.
Right.
I think it's about $11 to ship out to Hawaii to two-day priority.
Shoot, I can just drive down and pick mine up.
You're not wrong. Like they're literally here in my garage. Like just save yourself the 10 or 12 bucks. But yeah, that's a long version of a longer story. But
man, I love the story, man. It's and you. Here's the thing, and this is what.
There he is. He's wearing the goods too.
Yes. It's. Sick. I think the 3 of us fellas, AB included, we said last year that this year was gonna be really targeted purchases and cherry picks, and for the most part, it has been that. Like I'm only getting something that I'm going to shoot or I'm going to like really fiddle around with. If it's not that, it's staying wherever the hell they made it at, because it's just we all used to just grab stuff off the shoot. Get that. Nah, it just doesn't work that way anymore. We're very selective, and that's why it's. I think there's more enjoyment in being selective like that, because you're being conscientious of what you're spending and why you're spending it, and that's what that does. I'll tell you right now, what it does is it opens up the gate for other stuff. Like, for example, I'm getting a shirt from you because my goal is supporting as many people as I can in the community. I just picked up some trees from Figure_Theater that his wife makes that I'm excited to get. And she makes these trees, and I was like, dude, I'm getting some trees. So whoever I run across that's doing stuff in the community, whether they're dioramas, whether they're making stickers, whether they're making shirts, whatever, I'm grabbing. I'm gonna throw in on it, man, because you got it. Man. We're family. We're supposed to be. We're a good community. We're family of nerds, so got to support each other any way we can. That's what it's about.
That whole line of thinking is, this is kind of like the first time in my 40 years that I've seen that, because being a nerd wasn't cool when I grew up. Like,
that's right.
I got the shit beat out of me for having a R2D2 in my pocket during T-ball, a T-ball game. I remember like being on the bench and I had an R2D2, and that's 1984, right? And I'm thinking to myself, like, I think it was my brother's R2D2, and I pull it out of my pocket, and I show up to the kid next to me, and I'm like, hey, check this out, right? Like his head goes, and he's just like, what do you, like that's so uncool. I thought it was the freaking bee's knees though, but that never caught on. Like as I went through, I think as we all go, well, I don't know, some of you guys might be younger, but as I went through school and life, and like I would make friends that were other nerds, sure, but for the most part, it wasn't something that you advertised, right? Like
No.
these days, especially with like the way the MCU took off, it's some of the world's biggest business now. Like,
yeah,
it's a
It's
different,
definitely more mainstream.
right?
Raven,
Right.
it was just, that's how I learned how to fight, I guess, by collecting toys.
I was a little opposite because I was a jock. I played baseball
Yeah.
for 9 years.
And then like that's probably even more rare, right? Like just someone who was able to compete athletically at that level and still keep their nerd side. Because like I love playing soccer and baseball and all that, but by the time I was in high school, I couldn't compete. I wasn't big enough. I wasn't strong enough. So what I had left was basically my comics and whatever little thing I would collect. Girls definitely didn't look at me.
Yeah, I mean it's very strange now that the things that we really admired and had an affinity to are like popular culture now, it's mainstream. It's very strange. I was so yeah, I work off the books. I guess I'm a G-man or whatever. We're in a meeting the other day just talking about stuff, and one of the people brings up, "Hey, who watches anime?" And I'm like, "How the hell? This is where we're at now." And these guys are talking about anime at work, knowing damn well that there's no way that you would talk about anime in my job like 15 years ago. Come on, you weren't going to talk about this shit. So it's interesting how I think open people can be now about what they have an affiliation with, what they enjoy, what they. It's nice to have that freedom and not have to be like, oh man, I like this over here, but man, if people knew about it, they think I'm a goofball or whatever. Nah, it's awesome that we can kind of relish in that. But at the same time, that being said, I think it's polar opposites too, because you can have a toxic fan base because there's people who take it too far, and it's like, hey man, it's they don't realize it. I think Stan Lee said once, it's like he designed this stuff so you can just enjoy yourself and have fun. It's all about just having fun. If you're not able to tap into that quality of it, then you're missing the whole point. And I think that's what's been so beautiful about like meeting so many people in this community is the vast majority of them agree with you. They just want to have fun and talk about fun.
I think that it's also funny, since we're on the topic of like how free a lot of people are now to express how they feel about a hobby, and even going to stores and purchasing in front of people, because when I first started recollecting again, people were like iffy about buying figures because they didn't want people to notice.
Right.
But it's also hilarious how even the I want to say even bullies in school now, they're expressing their nerdy side. And it's funny because bullies in school, they want to be the cool guy, or even just regular people. Because I've dealt with a lot of like, I played baseball for so many years. I was always I wouldn't say one of the most popular, but I was very popular in school. And it was like I used to see people do dumb shit to other people, and now a lot of those people that I still talk to are like, yeah, I go buy figures now. And I'm like, back in the day, you guys were like complaining like to people like, what the fuck are people doing buying stuff? And now you're pre-ordering figures like if it's like if it was original to you.
Right.
But I mean, it's great, the hobby. It's great.
Yeah, but I mean, like we also have like I think it should go without saying, like we have, and I'm not like a diehard MCU whatever. I love pretty much anything that is related to a comic book that can be made well into a movie, right? But the MCU films and you could argue even the other superhero films have made such a dent in pop culture and in society here in the last 20 years That you would be stupid to be like, oh no, I did not like that movie that made all the money in the world and that everyone else in school and in class has seen and loves and is raving about, and you know what I mean? Like it's just, I think that then those movies, they figured out the formula for keeping it true to the comics, but also like cutting its way into regular society, like the Captain America films, for example, right? Like who would have taken a character like Captain America and the bright red Buccaneer boots and the wings and the baby blue and everything seriously, in live action? But they figured out, like, I think through good design and art direction, they figured out how to make it work, and they made a really good period piece film that then made kind of paved the way for the other good movies. But like again, those were basically, it's like a war movie, a spy movie, and then the third one was a superhero movie, right? I don't know, and they were just good movies. So I don't know, if I'm a kid and I'm growing up, like those movies were, I don't know, the James Bond movies when I was a kid,
right?
Air Force One or whatever. But those were the movies that were popular and that would get seen. You were cool if you saw those movies. Like the original Crow, right? The original Crow. Like you were down. You were the coolest kid if you got to see the original Crow. And now I can't remember the last time a movie that wasn't a big production like that, based on some sort of fictional literary character, made the top of the charts, like made the most money. So
right. That's so true. It has definitely flipped on its head, but it's cool because, again, I think that with it flipping on its head is opened up the industry in a sense. So that's why it's awesome that there is more and more people making stuff, third-party people doing stuff, everybody, because the competition ultimately does help us in the pricing in some ways, because it makes it where it's not as exclusive if another person's making this and another person's making it. So it is an awesome thing to have that variety, I think. And if it wouldn't have got this popular, I don't think we would have that. I mean, we'd probably have like one company making everything and to charge whatever.
I hate to say it like this, but COVID fucking sucks, before I say it.
Oh, yeah.
But COVID played a big role in people diving into things that they either didn't know they wanted to, or reigniting something, having to find something to do during COVID. Actually made this hobby, pretty much, I guess you could say. So COVID is pretty much responsible for the large population, or a large percentage of what the community is now.
It is.
I would agree, totally.
So it's like, absolutely. When the shows and the movies started like picking up for Marvel, especially Marvel, it was like people needed something to do. So it was like, oh, this is cool. And then, they rewatch From Home again. And then you're like, shit, man, maybe I should get a figure of this. It's so good. And then everybody starts finding toys. And then, so COVID played a big part in what the hobby is to a lot of people. Of course, there was many people before COVID that were already collecting.
Right.
But like, I didn't start picking up heavy until COVID, or not until COVID. I was collecting right when my father passed away. And then when COVID hit, it was like, I don't got shit to do but work and toys. So keep going.
Right.
No, you're right.
Yeah. No, I had I was gainfully employed during the 2 years of COVID, and I was the digital creative director for a company here in Charlotte. So we were lucky that we could do everything that we did in the office really remotely. And we were like a well-oiled machine really a year into it. So I would spend way too much time on eBay. Like I got into, you know what I got into? I'd always collected the Marvel Legends at the 112 scale, but I'd stayed away from the 3.75 because I was like, why do I need to do that, right? Well, I don't know, man. I got bored, and I think I saw the helicarrier down at Toy Federation in Greenville one time, and I was like, damn, that's cool. Like that reminds me of the flag and other things, right? Well, I got the helicarrier from Toy Federation on trade for like, I mean, it was great. It was next to nothing because those guys are awesome. And Greenwood knows who Toy Federation is. The other two guys may not. But that ignited it. And like I remember like just on Instagram with them, messaging them, being like, "Hey, dude, can you show me what you have in the 3.75 Marvel line?" And he would like take a video and pictures. And I would PayPal him money, and he'd mail it up here. You know, like it was. Dude, I think I collected the majority of the 3.75 line in those 2 years. You know, I got nowhere to put them. They're in a bin in my garage. But when my son gets to the proper age and gets into it, like we'll crack them open and we'll have a blast.
Nice. No, I'm with you. I was collecting them. So I was collecting those Marvel Universe figures, and in fact, that's how that was a true testament of how my then girlfriend went to become my now wife. Well, back then they released the Sentinel way back, like for the Marvel Universe,
right?
And when it came out, it again back then it wasn't as mainstream, wasn't regular. Like this was like early 2011 or something, 2010, whenever that was. Yeah. Well, at that time I was like, man, it's hard to get that Sentinel. But then they released it, said, oh, the Sentinel had came out in the following, and Ross in Marshalls has been doing this, I guess, damn near for 15 years now or whatever longer. They always got the Hasbro stuff that season, and it would be discounted, right? So they had Sentinels at Ross and at Marshalls and places like that. So, my girlfriend, my wife at the time, I said, I put her to the test. I said, if she goes with me toy hunting to find some Sentinels, then she's
the one.
I'm definitely gonna marry her. And so she was like, let's go find it. She's like, where are we going? We're gonna go. I need to go to these Rosses and these Marshalls and find these damn Sentinels. And so we were going different places and finding them. She was excited about it. She was happy. Like, did we check this place or check that? And I was like, okay, she's good. She's good. Because then I knew that once we, got our own place and got together, she would be good with my collection. I knew that, okay, she knows I'm collecting this stuff. We're going on dates to find Sentinels. Then yeah, she'll be cool when I get a full-on fledged collection. She won't have a problem with it. And that ended up being the case. But yeah, I got
my wife.
I got all those dudes in a bin too, sitting in a bin. All those Marvel Universe dudes just sitting in a bin.
Yeah.
Mine was like 2 kids later, and then bam, hey, I want to start collecting toys.
But
now those
can't go nowhere now.
And those are both of my middle kids. So let's see. My son is gonna be, he's gonna be 16, and my daughter's gonna be 14 already. So 16 years later.
I mean that almost gives you like an out, right? Because like on the times when you're in the store and you're like, I feel kind of weird being here getting this or whatever. You're like, oh no, wait, I'm getting it for my kid.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think the first time I brought a figure for myself, I was a little nervous because I remember it was Kylo Ren from Black Series, and there was a kid looking at it, and it was during the pandemic, and it was the only one on the shelf, and I was like, "Fuck you, kid, I'm getting it." And then the rest is pretty much history. Like my kids all my kids are older. My oldest is about to be 18.
Yeah,
it's like
you don't look that old. You don't look old enough to have an 18-year-old. You know what I mean?
I'm 37. I'll be 38 in about 2 months.
Ooh, you had him early then.
Yeah. Right. There goes my baseball career. No, injuries fucked up my baseball career, but I had my first kid right out of high school. But it's crazy because like the kids know like now, like if I go to Target, we're going straight to the toy aisle. Like I went today to take my mother because my mother she has surgery in both of her legs, so she could barely walk. So I had to take her to places. So we go into Target. My mom grabs her shopping cart so it could help her stand walking, and my wife goes with her. And my mom goes, "You going to the toy aisle, right?" I'm like, "Yep, bye."
You know it.
It's funny because, like I said, I wasn't really into much of anything, and I was already with my wife probably like 8 years.
Yeah.
And then I just started after my dad passed away, and then like now, she'd be like, "You need to slow down," but then she buys me toys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing with my mom. Like I took my mom to her appointment a couple of weeks back, and she got me fucking two GI Joe infantry figures as a thank you. I was like, "You didn't have to, Mom." She was like,
That's
"Take
awesome.
photos, have fun."
It's always a plus when the family can help you on with your addiction maybe.
Yeah. And then like my daughter's heavy into like anime,
Yeah.
and she loves Demon Slayer, and they just started releasing the SH Figure Arts ones. And I wasn't gonna get them because I got her the what is it, Ultimate Legends line? They're like
Yeah.
4 inches.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Dad, think of all the pictures you could take with them." So now I got like 4 of them pre-ordered from SH Figure Arts.
Nice.
See,
She's the only one that's like into it. My
that's
kids
cool.
help me, but she's the one that's like into what I do.
That is cool. Yeah.
I think I don't know. I see because mine are 7 and 8 now, right? I see them so obviously go through different phases of stuff, but they're at that key age where anything shiny and plastic and whatnot, like it's just cool.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna have fun with it, and that makes it just a lot more enjoyable too. Like it really just keeps it fresh. Like my son, after years, because I mean I was watching Ninja Turtles, the Nickelodeon, the CGI one, because I mean they made that like a Pixar movie, you know, like it was made for kids, but for adults too. It was really good. I must have never batted an eyelash of interest. Something got him. I think we were watching the original show on Paramount Plus, and he just got into it for some reason.
Nice.
And so he's been into Ninja Turtles, not like in a heavy way, but he got the basic 4 or whatever, and enough that he's going to be Michelangelo for Halloween now in a couple weeks.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So anyway, the Joy Toy 4 turtles at 1/18 scale, right?
Yeah.
They just arrived in the mail. I don't know. I pre-ordered them like a year and a half ago, right?
Oh.
And they just got here after I don't know how many delays. I want to say Friday. And the only thing I've been able to do is like take them out of the shipping box, right? But they're still all like in their own boxes underneath the coffee table. I haven't even been able to take more than a second look at it, right?
Yeah.
My son comes in the other day and he's like, "Dad, you got Ninja Turtles." And he's like, what? When are we gonna play with these? Like, what are we gonna do?
That's awesome.
So that's cool. That part's cool. Now he doesn't know yet. Like, you can't play with these.
No touchy.
They'll break in a minute, but he'll open them up with me. Like we just like opening toys up together. That's something we do together, and that's like quality time and core memories that you don't maybe realize you're making when you're in the middle of it. But then like my wife will point out, like, you don't realize it, but you ended up spending 2.5, 3 hours while you're watching wrestling and opening up toys. And your son was, happy as a pig in shit. And he's gonna remember that for like the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what sparked it for me. I remember with my dad watching the old X-Men animated cartoon, and we would go out and collect the cards. Like he would have like binders of the old trading cards, and like he was like really one of the ones to spark my nerd passion. So yeah, it's definitely a treasure to pass down along to your kids.
It is, man. It really is.
I even I was in my attic not too long ago. Well, I'm in my attic pretty frequently, actually. I was trying to find new ways to store things. But I ran across some old binders in like a bin way in the back that had some of those old Marvel cards. And like I'm surprised I still have them. But they're super cool, man. Like I was just like flipping through because they have the bios. I think I learned most of what I know, like comics characters, from the backs of those cards. Because like all the biggest, I think, X-Men stories were like in the Claremont era, the 70s and 80s. By the time the 90s came out, after the Jim Lee era, nothing all that notable happened besides the animated series. I think I learned everything about every X member on those cards.
Yep. Yeah, I still have mine too. I remember. I remember like my mom, because I remember my mom. I would have her be dragging me, like, take me over here to this. They got them, chasing down the stuff, man. That was the funnest times, man. And so I think that you guys are right. It's a bit of it is your parents rubbing off in some sense or whatever, and then you're rubbing that off onto your children. It's that's what it is. I think there's a part of that is generational. If it can happen, that's what's dope about it. Pat says nothing better than dipping into an old childhood tub to get. You got no idea what you're gonna find. That's so true.
It's like treasure hunting. Just forget.
Yep. Toy Box says those ultra free X-Men card got to know about X-Force as well as so many. Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of people. It's a lot of people jumped into it like that. And then Raven says, speaking of you getting the Joy Toys, I guess he says I had to jump in and get the rest of the line Rocksteady.
Oh shit!
They just announced those.
They make those. Holy crap, man!
I will live vicariously.
Yeah, I should live vicariously for you guys. They look amazing, though. They look absolutely amazing. Like, they really look good.
I mean, I'll switch you guys some pictures when I crack them open. I'm not planning on getting any others besides just the turtles because again, I thought it was cool.
Right.
But I'm also having it like if I get something new, I got to get rid of something old. So like the Loyal Subjects turtles that came out like a year ago, I got to get rid of those soon.
Yeah. I did pick up a couple of those guys. I just found them at Walmart.
They're not bad.
They're not bad. They actually aren't bad. But I could see you definitely swapping them out for these guys.
I'll be right back. My wife is
all right. Oh, no worries. The Joy Toys look amazing, man. So I could definitely see you swapping them out for those all day long.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys have spent any time on my Instagram, but my son and I have also been doing Sci-Fi City. So we call it Scoundrel Central. That's what we've called. We've named it, right? And it's like the talk of the neighborhood with all of his friends. Like they'll come up on the way. It's like on the way to his room. Like you got to turn the corner, and I swear, dude, like his best buddy, who he plays with like almost every day. I was up there working on it yesterday. And we've been working on it now for like 2 years at least, right?
Wow.
And just like scrap wood and whatever that we would find, like I would put it together a little bit by bit. And now we're at the point where like everything's like the structure's really there, and now it's like paint details and little things like that. And you start putting like figures in it and stuff. And his friend comes up and sees it and he's like, "Oh my God, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen." And my son is there like, yeah, when are we gonna be playing this thing? Like, when are you gonna be finished? Like I want to play in it already. And I'm like, I don't know, but I don't know if it's ever gonna be finished. Like, part of the fun is building it, right? And he's like, no, I want to play in it. Like, I want you to get out. So that was nice.
Well, what up, Toy Addict? That's a man. You must be reading my mind, because that's a perfect segue into what we also like to do is dive into our guests' page, man. You want to dive in and see what you're doing, what's going on with you.
Cool.
So let's jump into some of your stuff. Let's get it going. So here you go. Outdoor photography. Love it.
Yeah, just fun in the backyard. I mean, I've dug Kazar since the 80s, right? Since I saw him in Jim Lee's run, the animated series. So I didn't get that SDCC pack. It was like $400 the one time I saw it at the convention. No. But when they remade him or made the new one, right? I was like, yeah, I'm getting that. I'm getting the whole wave just for Zabu. So that was fun. You know, I put some extra pieces there. Like there's one of Forge's boot things on his left arm, left bicep. There's a Conan.
Oh wow!
Because you did upgrade him.
Yeah. Like he was too plain to me anyway. He's got a Conan necklace and a Conan what do you call it, cuff thing. And now he's got a thigh knife. It's not in this picture, but I found a thigh knife from like an unused Joe or something. Yeah. So just, you know, playing with like the fog, what's it called? Spray can, you know, and the light coming through, just kind of, all of that is untouched outside of like maybe brightening it up with a filter or something, or Benny gave me a couple tips on like how to bring the details out more in your pictures, and I've been doing that a little bit. But no, there's no like other real heavy editing on it.
Nice, it's nice, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Dope.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Let's see here, and here's just like are these what scale are those guys?
Yeah. So, all right. So funny small story. I've mentioned G.I. Joe a couple times now. Like probably the thing I had the most of when I was into the most of, at least in toy form. And in the 90s, you know, they had G.I. Joe Extreme, which was not a good show. Like I wouldn't say it's a good show by any stretch. But I don't know. I've watched all the Real American Hero ones, and I think even my son has watched a lot of them. So I found, I don't remember if it was on Tubi or if it was on YouTube, because my son is on all the time, and I found the episodes on one of those, and I started watching them, and I have, because I've been customizing casually, I would say, like not well, but I've been customizing. I started customizing 3.75 scale right around the time my wife got pregnant, because we didn't have any money, and I was like, oh, I can go like to the flea market and get like modern G.I. Joe figures for nothing, for like $1 a piece, take them apart, put them back together. Well, these are the two on the left, which are Sergeant Savage and Lieutenant Stone, are made of all, I want to say, Joy Toy parts.
Oh.
Wow.
The Scar, no, what's his name? Iron Claw. Scar is the army name, right? Iron Claw is made up of mostly a Crimson Trooper. No, was it Crimson Trooper? A modern, like a 25th anniversary Cobra Crimson Viper guy. With the head I think I got from eBay a long time ago. And just like a mishmash of pieces and a little bit of paint. But I just kind of watched the 20 episodes of that show and was like, oh, I think I have enough pieces to do something here. And yeah, like within 2 weeks, I just kind of put them together and have fun with it. Sick. And that's not really like that's just like on one of our picture shelves. Like that's not like a setup or anything. That's just like a vintagey clock that my wife got for our modern farmhouse decor. But with like a decent enough blur in the background, they came out pretty decent. Picture.
No, I like this. This is cool. Like, and I do remember that Extreme. I don't think I ever watched it though. because
It's not.
I was so I was
You're not
I
missing
was like
anything.
I was like, man, if it's not Real American Hero, but then I ended up watching Resolute. I think I really liked Resolute.
Resolute's fantastic, but that's like a kid who grew up on a Real American Hero who got into animation and directing stuff, like, you know, for studios, did an adult serious version of a Real American Hero. That's what Resolute is, 1,000%, and it's amazing. I think it's like the best produced piece of G.I. Joe anything, you know, in history.
Yeah, I really wish they would one day come out with 1/12 scale versions of those. I have the small or the little ones, the 23 Resolute. But I'd love to have that.
I think it's just a matter of time. Like, Hasbro's been listening to the fan base a lot. I think.
Yes, they do.
You know, they're gonna
not enough. We still get Jedis with trigger fingers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do. Well, they listen to specific
G.I. Joe they listen to, so yeah.
Selective hearing.
Yeah. This is crazy, bro.
This is a video of the Calendar Central from probably about a month and a half ago. So there's some more color and some more detail and stuff that's been built in since then. I got to do an updated video, but yeah, I mean, I didn't come up with this idea. Like, there's been a million people on Instagram that have done this better before I gave it a shot. Like, starting with Empire Toy Works. You guys seen his page? I mean, that guy's like a mastermind, brilliant, like, just three-dimensional genius, right? And like you can, I mean, they're I want to say three-dimensional, but like you can they're like and he builds them like on islands, right? So you can go around the whole thing and interact with it all. This isn't a corner of a room, right? So it's really only like what you see in that corner is what I could build on. But guys like that, or gosh, there's so many others. There's what's some of the ones that I see regularly. Electric Blue Station. I don't know, man. There's so many. Like, if you just put down like Sci-Fi City in a search in Instagram, you'll see tons of, and they're all amazing. Like, they do stuff that I don't think I will ever get close to. But this is all like these are all things that I've seen other people do better, and thought, all right, let me give it a shot. And my son, it was something to do with my son. And then when we got my daughter, like, she just kind of likes being crafty and just likes being up in your stuff no matter what you're doing. She's just like intense. So she's helped me build it more than he has over the last 2 years. Like, I'd be sitting there with my drill or my impact driver and a heavy piece of plywood and then like hardware to try to bolt it in, and wouldn't have enough hands. And so I'd call her over, hey, come on, hold this for me. And she'll hold it. I'll nail it in or whatever, just to drill it in and move on. That's awesome. I want to say most of the substructure she helped me put together.
That's dope. Man, this is wow, bro.
I mean, most of that is crazy. Like is literal stuff we got that was being thrown away.
That's what's up.
This is
taking things and using them.
This came from Benny. Me. Yeah, no, I mean, legitimately, just sharing some tips with me, and especially with lighting, because lighting is always something that I've just never gotten a good grasp on. And yeah, so this one's a little bit doctored, like you see the fireworks and stuff, and the light glare, you know.
Yeah.
Those are obviously post, but the rest. Well, actually, he's being held up by a wire, like by a metal wire, and that was removed too.
Okay.
The rest of it is as you see.
That's dope, dude. This
I can't see Cena.
Your collab. Okay. No, this is dope.
It's a good
One
shot.
One of the guys made that comment, and it took me a minute, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, that's fucking hilarious."
I can't see your post.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yep.
So that's a funny one. Like that had my phone for a while because if you look back a ways, I took a series of pictures with him and Muhammad Ali coming out of the entrance stage. Like they were both like flexing on each other, and it wasn't my favorite pick at all by any stretch. But I thought, like, considering all the Hogan figures that have come out, and you know, for the most part, it's all red and yellow or the black and white.
Yes,
this is a more rare version of his character.
Very rare.
Just kind of like it was. I just cropped in on an existing photo, and I think it made a better overall picture than the one with him and Muhammad Ali.
Oh, okay, nice.
Nah, this one came out dope.
Yes.
Yeah,
like the posing is on point, and at that time when Hogan was like this was when he was a much more technical wrestler.
Right.
Like this is when he was doing moves that he wasn't doing when he made it to like the Hulkamaniac era.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He was. I think his name was Ichiban.
Ichiban.
Yeah.
He was doing like hip takedowns, throwing people, fucking hurricanranas.
Damn.
They took all that away from him when he became the Hulkamaniac.
Right. Yeah. It's dope. Damn. Oh, is this a custom?
Yeah. So, maybe a year or two ago, I started playing with the 1/12 scale, and so this came from the anniversary Wolverine 2-packs, the one that had, I think, Psylocke from the X-Men Jim Lee run, and then they had the Wolverine that came with it, or the Logan that came with it, was nearly identical to the patch Wolverine that came out on the retro card a couple years back.
Pretty much was.
Right. I didn't need two of the same figure. Like I was gonna trade it in for something else. But the X-Men 97, I think, was on at that time. And so I was nostalgically watching old episodes of the animated series and watched one of the better, I thought, couple episodes, which is the One Man's Worth, You know what I'm talking about. It was loosely based on Age of Apocalypse, which is kind of my all-time favorite X-Men story. Just random pieces I had in the bin, G.I. Joe straps pieces, the what's it called, bandolier, and just try to get as close as I could to his look there. There's Marauder pouches, like Marauder Task Force pouches in that. But the base figures is the Logan that came with that Psylocke 2-pack.
Nice. Man, you guys customize, man. I can't. You guys can't. My customize just a head swap.
Right.
It's when you're like a naturally anxious person who can't sit still, it brings an odd sense of peace. Like you're very focused on something, and it takes all your energy and like your concentration, and so it helps me deal with stress. Like I end up, I don't know, it's like a coping mechanism. I don't stress about things that I can't control when I'm doing is focused on controlling this little piece of art.
Hey, action figure therapy is I love it. Shit.
You're not wrong, dude. You should probably copyright that, because that's a good term. Like, thanks, man. Like, this is another like picture. I mean, these guys play incredible douchebags, but I had to get these two versions of them because the only versions of them that had come out before were the ones with like the huge bell-bottom tassel legs, right?
Yeah.
And, like my wife would see those and just rip on them and make fun of me. Like, what the hell are you putting up? Like, what are they looking? And I was like, I try to explain it. No, it's like they're doing like the Randy Savage thing, right?
Right.
Doing that. No, they just look stupid. So, so I got these versions of them just to get a better representation. And again, this came from like after I kind of started taking some tips from Benny and the group. and playing with light, with the just the light filters on some of the cube lights that I have, and the little spray fog.
Yes.
Just came from that. I wouldn't say it's like one of my best by any stretch, but most of what I've done lately is the wrestling stuff because the group having to post once a week has kind of forced me to spend time in the hobby, which is like really like the last thing I would ever dedicate any time to.
That's right. Man,
I feel like the wrestling collab. So there's a guy. These fellas know him. I'm sure if you don't, but Realm of Toys. So Realm of Toys does a lot of wrestling shots. Me and him talk a lot. Like I've met Realm plenty of times. We hang out at Legion's Con, and we're gonna be hanging out at Legion's Con again this year. But we always talk about how, like, I love toy photography. I have a job that I deal with a lot of crazy things that are said. I work HR for Amazon. I'm a human resource manager. As of tomorrow, I will be a general manager, but as of right now, I'm still an HR manager. But
congratulations.
Thank you. When I get home and I'm settled in after I do everything I need to do, mess with the kids or whatever, and I get into like the toy photography, I feel like out of all the lines that I have and all the figures that I have, wrestling brings a little more joy than the other ones.
Nice.
And it's because the countless things you can do, the countless matches, moves, it forces you to play a little more, because a lot of wrestlers, do a lot of high flying moves. That is really hard to do with toys, obviously.
Right.
So it forces you to be more creative when thinking. So what like me and Rome like to do, and we do this a lot because we always talk about wrestling shots, is we'll go back and rewatch certain matches and try to recreate scenes. I don't know if you saw, I posted photos in the wrestling collab earlier. I did a Doink the Clown and 1, 2, 3 kid, and I did when Undertaker beat Hogan for the first time for the WWF Championship, and those were rewatch matches
on the metal chair, right?
Yep. So those were rewatch matches, like on YouTube or on Peacock Network, and it's like we're always talking about like how much joy it brings to recreate scenes. Because I remember sitting down in front of my TV watching these matches. So I don't know. I feel like I get more joy out of the wrestling collab because it forces me to, not even forces me, it allows me to be more creative and try to push the limits of photography.
Yeah.
Oh, you can definitely tell you guys are having a blast when you do, because there's a whole distinct level of, like, you guys do it's like your framing, the angles, everything about when I see you guys dropping those wrestling shots it's a totally different aspect that I see that you bring to it. So it's definitely there. It definitely shows, when you guys post the shots, that's for sure. Like, it's nice for you to give us some background on it, because it definitely shows. It shows.
I mean,
it's fun.
And I'll tell you what, like, the credit to the smaller companies like the Extreme Sets, right? Or Jazzwares with that entrance backdrop. It's just cardboard, but they allow you to set the stage so that really, like, and then that's really the majority of the work, is setting the stage in the background, right? Like, you can have a great pose and a great shot of it, but I mean, I feel like just, my 2 cents. The environment around it is what makes it all the more, I don't know if it's real, but all the more legitimate, right? So, whereas, like, your Marvel figures, your Marvel Legends, you can, like, with the Kazar shot, you could do an outdoor backyard shot near a plant because he lives in the jungle. But it's harder to do like a Spider-Man swinging through a city. Like, you don't typically have, you know, in scale buildings.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, credit goes to a lot of those companies, like the Ringsides and the other indie toy companies and that create these products.
Yep.
They've paved the way for us to have this kind of fun.
Yes. So
anyway, so
this is dope, dude. It's so you picked up the ramen. Is that you picked up the ramen toys?
Yeah. So most of what I've gotten this year is stuff that I paid for like a year or two ago.
Right.
As one of us.
Yeah.
So I didn't. Okay, so when Hasbro was going to do their version, it was a pretty easy pass just because of the price point.
I'll be right back, fellas.
Super easy pass.
And not that it wasn't cool, right? And
No,
but ramen, I bought their first products ever. Their Centurion, not Centurions, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And thought they were great. Like in fact, they're off camera here, but they're on like my special shelf with which is just like a mishmash of everything. Most of my ramen things. Then I got the Centurions. I got the Silverhawk, the
Nice.
Silverhawk. I got the mask. Oh, the Matt Tracker mask. It's back there somewhere. I want to say I got the majority of what they've put out, right? Or at least like the main stuff, the big stuff. When they put this up, I was not really sold until they mentioned that they were doing the head sculpt with it.
Yeah,
like I can make the custom if I get the car, and I love the Dodge Charger. Like that era Dodge Charger is absolutely my favorite. Just automobile and history, and like the modern day Challenger. Every time we see it drive by on the road, my son will be like, "Daddy, what's your favorite car?" So yeah, but I mean, Ramen and the guy behind it, Ace, super nice, cool guy. Like honestly, like having been a small business owner, the amount of, you mentioned toxic fandom, just like criticism and stuff that he will get, and he doesn't. I'm not saying he gets all that much, but like the negativity, the stuff that he does get, and how he handles it is freaking amazing. Because I would have lost my long before and given the whole. But yeah, no, he puts out good stuff, and if you get in on the early bird pricing, it's always like it ends up being like half of what it ended up being like at full cost or whatever, and so it's usually pretty damn affordable. Especially like because he gives you like some time to, I don't know, put the monies together, find the money. So I want to say I got this one that had all the different iterations. It's just one. It's the one car, but it has the Ghost Rider pack. It has the Fast and Furious, not pack, but like the accessories to make the Ghost Rider car or make it the Fast and Furious car.
Yeah.
And then they showed the orange version, which is the Dukes of Hazzard car, right?
Oh shit!
Again, I grew up on Knight Rider, A-Team, Dukes of Hazzard, Airwolf, all that stuff. So I was like, I got it. And then another guy who's helped me actually do a lot of my customizing in the 3.75 scale started doing 1/12 scale custom head sculpt. Spartan 118 MX. If you guys haven't seen him or checked the stuff out, definitely do it because he's the man. I don't know anyone who's done it as long and as well as he does and has 118 and 1/12 scale. And you can buy them like I think unpainted or painted, but he's awesome. He's in Mexico. Shit, I want to say he's like one of my few friends now. I got him on Facebook even too. But anyway, got the car mostly because they had announced the head sculpt, and I did a little research to see what the recipe would be to put this together. It wasn't hard, wasn't expensive at all. So as soon as I got the car, or got the notice that the car was shipping, I put in the order for, I think it was the long shot body on the retro card. That's what most of this is made of. And
nice.
I mean, really just some white paint and a little bit of black on there. And fitting the head, I had to Dremel some space out of the head. But the car itself is freaking great, man. Like I haven't taken any video of it, but like the effects, there's a little switch underneath it that makes the engine roar and the lights go with the engine roaring. Like if you've seen any of the reviews on YouTube, like it is just a beautiful piece. Like my son, they came both 2 boxes, then they're like this huge, right? In the mail. My son, he comes home from school and he sees 2 huge. He's like, "Daddy, what'd you get?" You're gonna lose your mind. Like these are the race cars or whatever. We opened them up together, and they took a while to put together, especially the different configurations, and then the decals and the electronic, because you have to get like the little LR44s to like each one, like each one of the fire effects on the wheels and on the engine there take like 3 or 4 of those LR44s. So I had to order Amazon. And so I'd taken it apart, and it was like on the kitchen table for like a day or 2 in between when we started putting it together and when we ended up putting it together. But once it all came together, it was just, it's like easy to take a good picture because the car, the product itself is so great, and you're not even seeing anything besides the freaking top of the car there and the engine on the hood that's mostly kind of bled out with the light. They keep making really good stuff, and it's not cheap, but it's not like the craziest amount out there either. So I have the Dukes of Hazzard one too that I haven't taken any pictures with.
Nice.
But because of Spartan 118 MX, I've gotten the Luke and Bo Duke.
What?
Yeah. I started talking to him about it like when they announced the ramen car. I was like, dude, I don't know how you can do it, but you got to find a way to make 112 head sculpts, and he did. And I checked back with him like 2 years later when I heard the car was coming, and he's like, oh yeah, here they are, here's the links. So I bought them off him, fully painted, and got a classified Duke and a classified Shipwreck as the base bodies for Luke and Duke. Put them with the head sculpts, and then I haven't really finished those. I bought like some 112 scale clothes for some different pieces of them, but I have to put some paint and what. Anyways, the car is put together and in my closet. The figures are in it driving it. They're just not like fully painted and finished. But another awesome piece that like when I get around to doing it and maybe taking some pictures, hopefully I'll do some video too so you can see like it's such a rad thing.
That's dope. Damn. Guys, I love it. Oh, look at this. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like this is another shot that was really like a crop in of a previous shot.
Mm-hmm.
What I haven't really figured out yet is, so you got the whole setup, right? It's very tempting when you're shooting it to get every ounce of every bit of like the image that you can, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to like get the whole scene.
Yeah.
Like there's a difference between the way you're seeing it in real life and how you're perceiving it and interacting with it, and what makes the good photography, like what will capture someone's attention on a social media platform. Mm-hmm. So it's taken me a while to realize like the majority of that really cool setup that I was talking about just a while ago never really gets seen or appreciated in the best photos. It's literally like an afterthought background that makes the foreground of the subject of the picture shine all the better, right?
Right.
But yeah, it's just a simple picture with like pretty simple pose. I haven't even seen that many Randy Savage matches, like classic ones. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of put some pieces together. And I think this is one of the weeks, because we've had a pretty rough 12 months, just a lot of stuff in the family. And this is one of the weeks where I think I talked to Path and was like, I haven't really, I don't think I have anything new. So I'll do what I can, but I don't know if I can contribute this week. So I just ended up using like a picture that I'd shot already and cropped differently to come up with a new image.
Nice. It's dope.
Nice.
Damn. Yeah, this dope, man. It's such a great page, bro. I'm loving your enthusiasm, what you bring into it, bro. And like, I'm still trying to figure out Scoundrel City, man. That's bananas, bro. You're crazy.
Scoundrel, I correct you. Scoundrel Central. And I'll tell you why it's central. I know I've been telling a lot of stories, so this is the last one I'll tell. My son being the train addict, right? He all the different trains. It's like the Union Pacific or the Santa Fe Express or the blah 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 blah. Well, central is one of those words that is often used in, I guess, the freight lines or the train, right? And so we came up with that name together. It had like different iterations, but we ended up keeping Scoundrel, which was my part that I got from Star Wars, and Central, which was his part, which he got from his love of trains. And that's it. And I think one other person chimed in on Instagram. I put a post out there saying like, hey, here's some ideas of names. What do y'all think? One or two guys responded, and one of the dudes who responded actually like made a good point. Most of the accounts out there are like station, whatever station, right? Like Rot Gut Station. And then everyone copied Rot Gut Station. That's Empire Toy Works, the one who kind of made it, I think made it all first, like originated it. And so I think we had station at the end of it originally, and that guy chimed in, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. So we took the station off, and yeah, I just in my Illustrator did a little Scoundrel Central thing. That little disc it's on is like a serving tray from Target, the $5 section.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's meant to be. You know what it's ultimately supposed to look like when I'm done is the end, the climactic scene at the end of Empire Strikes Back when Luke gets his arm chopped off and Vader, does the reveal. That's what I plan on shooting on there at some point when it's all done. But like I said to my son before, like I don't know if it'll ever be done. It's just fun to work on.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. So don't bring up my comments. I'm kind of being a dick. Sorry, guys. Well, like, okay, so what I guess, and I can address this because I'm partial to nothing really. It's the thing is, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier. I am excited about the toy community because there's so many people making so many things, and it allows. I'm a type of person, if I see someone making something, if it appeals to my interest, I'm gonna support them however which way I can. And so when it comes like, for example, when it comes to ramen toys, like I wasn't really big on the Ghost Rider thing or whatever thing, because I wasn't really big on the Engine of Vengeance. It is what it is with the Engine of Vengeance and them doing whatever they're doing. What I wanted, and I didn't get it because I think probably because I was getting something else at the time, and I just didn't want to like have my wife beat me for spending extra money. I wanted the General Lee because, like Wack Toy said, that's one of those things that like the 18 van, kit. Those are things that like I remember as a kid. And it's like having those in my collection, that was a thing. So I'm going to get the General Lee. It's just now I'm going to have to pay more because I didn't do it back in the day when it was up for pre-sale cheaper. On the flip side of that, I'm in total support of iFrog because they've got their version of a 112 skull car, which I had the honor to be able to get one of the prototypes and shoot shots of it and play around with it, whatever. So I'm getting that too. So I'm the type of dude that if I see something that appeals to me, I'm definitely going to try and grab it from whoever's making it, if it appeals to me. Like I don't really, my money is going to go to what appeals to me at the end of the day. And so yeah, like, that's why I'm jelly with you having the General Lee, and you got somebody who made Bo and Luke, man, that just blew my mind because I'm gonna get that mention. I'm getting the 18 because I'm going to make an 18, like an 18 actual custom. That might be my first take at custom, but it'll be easy because it's just kind of head swaps and maybe adding a couple of things to get the 18. They're not that hard to make. They're pretty easy as far as their looks. But and these guys, my buddies here, my brothers, they know that there's only one thing, one item that somebody could make that's my grail that I buy instantly, and that is Speed Racer in the Mach 5. If that was made, I would get it. I don't care if it was $2,000, $3,000. I don't give a shit. I take loans out to get that damn thing.
You know, it has been made, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not okay. I don't know. You know, when the Speed Racer movie came out, there were definitely there was a product line for that movie, but a couple years before that, it's not real 6-inch. It's more like maybe 5.5. But
it's 5.5. I have that. But
okay. That because I got that one too. I mean, I love it. I used to have it on display. I don't right now, but
me either. I got it in a box.
Are you talking about like a true 1/12 scale Mach 5 with like a
Yeah, my dream is that if any one day Mezco made it, I would probably send them extra money just to thank them. Like here's it costs more than here, just thank you so much for that. If they ever, because a soft like Speed Racer with a helmet that will move like Mezco would be the perfect brand to make it if they made it, because I know that the Speed would be awesome and authentic looking, and then and he's not a superhero, so he can be in soft goods, and then the car, I know that they would make the car to the next level or whatever, everything, but that'll probably never happen. Well, I say that, but that's what I'm talking about. These third-party guys, these independent companies, they are
never
out
say
here
never these days
to do stuff. So the chances are that they will eventually make that. But it's one of those things where, like I said, I'm trying to support as many people across the toy community as I possibly can. Whether I like them or dislike them, I don't really care. If they got the product that I'm interested in, I'm going to give them some support, at least respect for that. That's where I'm at with stuff.
I didn't even know there was another company making a General Lee, a 1/12 General Lee.
No. There's Odd Frog is making a 1/12 scale car. Like which is really, it's awesome. It's actually pretty badass, and I can't wait for them to finally get it up running production and get it out to people, because me playing around with it, it's an amazing product. But there's so many people that are diving into this stuff now. It's like there's a lot of people that are making 1/12 scale type stuff, and just like there's a lot of people making new diorama builders. Everybody's trying to actually find their way to enrich this community the best way they can, and that's the thing I respect the most, is that they're even thinking this way to do these things, because they don't have to. Everybody could just rest on their laurels and let Hasbro make everything, but that would be a very boring community if it was just Hasbro or McFarlane. I wouldn't.
No, McFarlane needs to just stop. Just saying.
I mean, space is a real consider. Like I don't know about you guys, but like I don't have the room to display most of the stuff at that scale.
Nope.
Yeah, but that's also where it comes down to you get to like you grab what you really want. Like what you really want. You grab what you really want, and then, like you said, you move stuff out to make room for the stuff. There's always ways to kind of cater that collection to getting closest that you can to your ultimate collection. You know what I mean? Whether it's movies, giving stuff away, bringing in new stuff, there's always a way, I think, and I think that's what everybody ultimately is striving for, is to have that. It kind of goes back to what you said earlier, Wacto, having that collection that you envisioned as a child.
Yeah,
I got ceiling space. I mean, Does that count?
Yeah.
I don't have space. Y'all can't see it because it's dark, but let me see. Hold on.
Yes,
This is.
spaces. I'm about done
What
with space,
space?
but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Oh no, y'all can't see that shit. Hold on.
You
I'll turn
gotta.
on my light.
It's so hard to make like a sustainable living, especially if you got a family these days. You gotta
Mhm.
buy what brings you joy, and if it
Yes,
doesn't bring
that's it.
joy, like
Preach.
anyone else, be damned, right? Like, just if it makes you happy, bro.
Hmm.
Yeah.
See, I would have
Like,
never thought of this idea. This is my wife's idea. My wife thought of this idea for me.
Mm.
so is that like your man cave or is that your living room?
That's my living room. I got too many kids to have a man cave.
Oh
And you
wow! So
built it around it.
put that in the common area.
I have
Like,
more stuff in the living room, but it's all over the place right now. But this is like my main space.
that's awesome. You got an awesome
Yeah, it
wife.
is.
I love my wife to death, but she'll get on me if I have too much crap. Like,
Right.
area.
Like I mean, not too long ago, I gave away like almost 200 figures.
You did.
Mhm.
I gave them to somebody in the community that I knew he was going through stuff as well, and he couldn't buy figures. And I was like, you know what? Instead of me selling all these figures, I was like, hey, do you want some figures? He was like, sure.
Yeah,
What's some? I was like, oh, it's like 20 figures. I sent him like 3 boxes.
that's awesome.
It ended up being like 100 and it was like 160 something figures I sent him.
Jeez.
Instead of selling them, I just gave it to him.
That's
that bought you a couple more feathers on your angel wings.
Mhm. Amen.
I didn't do it for that. I did it because, I understand a lot of frustrations that people go through. That's why
yeah.
you know, I'm not gonna say who I gave them to. I'm not gonna say what the person was going through, but I was like, you know what? It'll go to a better home than just sitting in my closet.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't gonna have the time to like post to sell anyway. So it was just
Mhm.
like, let it go to somebody that I know was gonna use it and enjoy it.
There you
Yeah.
If
go.
it's gonna bring a smile to their face for whatever they're going through personally, and this helps them just to escape reality a little more and they have something to do, then here you go.
Yeah.
More power. I'm probably gonna be doing it again soon too.
Yeah. It's but again it goes back to that. That's what's so beautiful about this community, man, is that it somehow, some way, it's awesome that we can look out for each other, that we can be connected in a way that, like, I'm serious, man. This Troy community, it transcends a lot of other communities out there, man. This is probably one of the most healthiest communities that I know of. Like, because there's a lot of people there's people in the sports community, there's people in different other communities, and I don't really see them being this healthy in a sense where people come from all types of backgrounds, all types of things, and we still just all come together and get down. That's what I love
Yeah.
about it. It's
That's
awesome.
why when you posted the thing about the shirts, I jumped on it right away.
Yeah.
And I'm planning on getting more. I was telling my wife actually before the show that I'm planning on getting my kids' shirts. So
Yes.
Nice.
as I said, not if not this Friday, next Friday I will be ordering some more shirts from you.
That's what's up, man. I'm telling you, that's the way it works, man. It's a
I
good thing.
appreciate it. The
It's a
whole
good
family
thing.
No
appreciates
problem.
it.
No problem.
It's a good thing, man. And that's why, man, we like, hey, look, we us fellas here, we continue to try and make a platform for as many people as we possibly can, for them to tell their story, to share with others, to encourage others, to start their own shows, to do, like, that's what we're trying to do, man. Is just make this community enriched and grow, man, and fellowship.
Yeah.
These guys, you, it is therapy, man, because I think Blitz has said it many times, man. When we go through whatever we're going through in life, going through work, or whatever, when we jump into this, you pick up a fig and you start taking shots, you just allow yourself to get a peace of mind for a minute. And it
Yeah.
really kind of focuses you and centers you. And there's, again, like I said, I don't see a lot of other communities that have that quality. Like, you know, and think about it. People spend money on lots of stuff, whether they're spending on alcohol or partying or they're doing or whatever. But this is the one thing where we're spending money on something that kind of gives us moments of just like reflection and peace and endorphins from childhood and stuff like that. Where do you get that? You don't get that but here. So that's why we always encourage it and try to keep it moving, keep it going, man. It's beautiful.
And like I explain to my wife all the time, like, yeah, this is a very costly habit. However, there are many more hobbies out there that cost way more.
Oh hell
One.
yeah.
Cocaine.
Two, another thing is like
it's a hell of a drug.
Like I explained to her, like, this keeps me home.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get to be here. I interact with my kids more because they also help me.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know, it's just I'm sorry, my cat is licking my hand. And I was trying to say something and I'm like feeling my hand being licked. But it's like a stress-free environment the moment you touch a toy. No homo, because that was crazy. I just said some reckless shit. It is a stress-free environment when you touch a figure. There you go.
Right.
That was a little wild what I just said.
No
like
dig.
the moment I get to set up a scene, it's like anything I went through at work or anything that maybe outside of work on my way home, none of that matters anymore. It's like I come home, talk to my wife, spend time with them, and then I get to grab a figure and think of a scene or think of something and then jump into that. It's like those moments are like the most humbling moments if you really think about it, because it's when you actually get to take a deep breath, and when you exhale, you're like, like you're okay.
Yes.
So this is why I love what I do.
Yeah, it's fun.
I tell this to the guys in my job all the fucking time. When they're stressed out, I'm like, yo, go buy a fucking figure. I'll show you how to shoot it.
Go get something cool.
Everybody in my job knows that I do this. Yeah. And they some of them be shocked, but like that this is a real thing, from like a real hobby. And I'm like, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. I think you guys are touching on like a much bigger, more serious topic of like mental health and men's mental health, which, you know, has been brought to more of the forefront of media in the last couple of years, but was really, for the most part, been ignored for the majority of our lives, right? Like we grew up being taught to ignore it, and it does. Like I mentioned it to you guys before. I've been a nobody. I've been a little bit of a somebody. I've been a small business owner, a failure, and everything in between. And for someone who has struggled with depression, anxiety, and you know, a mind that never quite stops racing, this stupid little hobby, right, has a way of centering you and helping you focus your energies on something that isn't cocaine. It isn't alcohol, right? It isn't like, and I drink a beer every other night or so. But you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there's a million other things that are unhealthy, that are crazy dangerous, that you could be spending that money on. You know that meme, the one that's like, it's the what my wife thinks I'm doing when I'm not home. It's like he's cheating on her with some other girl, right? What he's actually doing when he's not home is like he's looking for the eggs, right, at the store trying to find it. And so like we often joke about that meme because it's the truth. Like, man, there's so many worse things. Like my wife never worries about me. Like she never has to. It's an ongoing joke. Yeah. So what? Yeah, we're nerds. We're not hurting the world at all, and hopefully we're bringing some enlightenment, joy, or some peace to someone out there scrolling on their phone at midnight.
Yeah. Or enabling. You forgot about that one.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
a big part of this community.
Yeah,
Mhm.
enabling is, but it's good enabling. Again, it's stuff that brings some type of like focus to yourself, and
Mhm.
I think having the photography in the community, it just really brings it home, man. Particularly if you're able to get into the collabs and things like that, you get to like, I mean, I've made so many connections. Just it's impossible. I talk to the people here 10 times more than I talk to my friends that I've known 25 years. Like, I
Ain't
mean,
that the truth?
that's just the fact. It's the fact
Mm-hmm.
is, I have more connection with the fellowship with the people in the community than I do with people that I've known for, which is rightfully so because these people, they bond with me. They have the same mindset, and it's just we have the same interests, and it's healthy. So that's probably
Yep.
why I talk to them more than I talk to some of the people that I grew up with.
It's
So
like now, like think about today compared to maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Mhm.
Like there weren't toy shows where it was
Right.
involving toy photographers
yeah,
or really that many toy cons
yeah,
throughout the United
Mhm.
States. Now you have cons everywhere,
yep,
and every year a new person decides to do a con in their own town,
yeah,
and it's a great like feeling knowing that there's people that share the same passion as you
Mhm.
when it comes to, for me at least, being free, because this makes me feel free. Like
yes,
there's no worries of any kind taking toy photography, like
yep,
taking photos, setting up. The only worry I have is like if I'm gonna be eating ramen noodles and ice this week, or I gotta, skip a week and not eat at all. That's about it. But other than that, like it's an amazing thing. Like, couple weeks we're gonna be going to Legion Con, and I'm going
yeah,
to see a lot of the guys that I see a lot, and a lot of guys that I've spoken to for years that I'm seeing for the first time.
yep,
um and it's always great, and we got a crazy fucking schedule that weekend. It is going to be bananas. Yo, so not to change the subject. So Friday night, I got to drive into Jersey to get my badge. I'm
mm-hmm,
staying with Raven's Eye at the hotel. Then we're gonna
mm-hmm.
make the line like at 3 or 4 in the morning. Then we're gonna get drunk after the con, and then we're gonna go ghost hunting at that
Yeah,
abandoned asylum and record it. And we're gonna go live with all the shows that are
yeah,
going,
that's
and
awesome.
then hopefully not get hurt in the asylum drunk, and then wake up Sunday morning for day two of the con.
Yeah,
It's gonna be great. And then
yeah,
I got to explain, like I said to the guys, I got to explain to my wife why I spend so much money at the con
yeah,
and
Worth
didn't
it.
come home for the
Awesome.
weekend.
That's
it's,
awesome, man.
yeah,
That's like
it's
that
Well, I
just
got
sounds that sounds better than like any bachelor party I've ever even heard of.
right.
it.
Ghost
It
hunting.
it's nice to, like I said, to see the people that you've spoken to for so long, finally seeing them in person and
Mm-hmm.
just bonding with them face to face. Like I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of toy photographers in person already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy the conversations we have of like the interest, the hobby, the toys, and then just being able to go to an event with them and just have a blast with like being with like-minded people.
Mm-hmm. No, it's excellent, man. I was thinking about the other day, like it's crazy that the homie Terrell Comics, who's he's been in the community for me. They hosted Pick Bar several times. Like
Yeah.
those guys up there have a whole they them and their comic collectible shop actually have set it up where people can go up there and they do pretty much like they do like shoot gatherings. They go up there and they meet at the shop and they all go out and they shoot and they get tips from each other and they teach each other. Like that's the type of stuff that's happening in this community, man. And so when Bliss is talking about them getting together for con and they're going ghost hunting, like he's right, man. This is where do you get this type of bonding and stuff at? It's awesome that we're able to do this type of stuff, man. We're so just we're blessed to be able to do this, man. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
Like my boss, my direct boss. Well, he won't be my boss as of tomorrow, but my direct boss loves what I do, like my hobby. He loves it. He doesn't have, he's a real busy person and he does a lot of stuff outside of work. So it's hard for him to get into something like this, but he loves the photography aspect. So he goes bike riding a lot and he does like photography there and he'll ask me tips and tricks and lighting. And then he has a drone. So he was the one that brought up the ghost hunting. So he's actually going with us ghost hunting.
Oh shit.
And so I told him, I was like, you're gonna experience guys that are genuine and just want to have fun. I was like, and I told him, I was like, it's okay to be yourself, bro. Like, you don't have to be something. These are good people.
Yeah.
So he's excited.
Great.
He's got to explain to his wife like how he ended up drunk with a drone and a camera in an abandoned asylum.
Yeah. No,
it's gonna be amazing.
Good, man. So yeah, yeah, White Toys. Like, look, man, you know, we're happy to have you in the community, bro. Glad you're in the community.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody that comes in this community, stays in the community, and is enjoying it, man, because it's very, it can be really, really positive if you let it. It really can. Be awesome.
Thank you, guys. It's cathartic. It's been incredibly cathartic, and I'm gonna thank you guys. This is the longest conversation, especially with other men, that I've had probably in 10 years.
Oh man, appreciate that, bro.
I mean, yeah, like you know, like I mentioned, when life happens and your family grows, life happens.
Yep.
It's not like at the age of 40 you can go to the house next door and knock on the door and be like, "Hey, we want to come out and play?"
Right.
Time out. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
But yeah, like, where do you make friends at this point in life, right?
Yeah,
like, how do you make friends at this point in life? And it's been great, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
And for letting me share a little bit, and just for being regular, decent human beings.
Yeah.
This is just what we do.
Yeah.
We've come from a place where somebody did this for us. So this is a way that we give back as much as we can, whether it be doing giveaways, having guests on, letting their stories be told, trying to put them more out there so more people could see them. Is just a way of just showing.
Yeah.
And showing people that there's a safe haven when it comes to the community where you can be on a show and be yourself and be able to be free to express what you want to express.
Well, you made me really, really cool with the kids. Like, you know, they're so there's everything to them. And so when I said to them, I was like, I'm gonna be on a YouTube show.
Yeah.
So they wanted to stay up and watch it, and obviously we couldn't allow them to. That it was their bedtime, but I told them they could see it tomorrow.
Definitely.
They're jazzed, man. Thank you guys for that.
Absolutely.
No problem, man.
My pleasure.
And before we get out of here, we got a couple of things going. I guess I'll make it's my thing. I probably should make the announcement myself. It started on October 2nd, but it's going all the way through the 31st. I am going to be doing a giveaway. The theme is humorous horror. October Halloween's my favorite month. It's my favorite holiday. So I think it's going to be fun and actually, as Blitz said earlier, influenced by, a super important person to us, our late brother Ryan, Tuscan Traders. He brought the humor all the time, and didn't matter which month of the year, which holiday it was, he always brought the humor. So I thought that it would be tapping into him to do some humorous horror for the month and have that be what people shot for the giveaway. And with the giveaway, I'm going to be giving away 8 gift cards to people, and I figured gift cards is better because if you're international, then you can still get an Amazon gift card. It's not going to stop you from joining and having fun. So that's going to be running all the way until the end, October 31st. We'll be doing the drawing on November 10th. Lazy Boyz, putting everybody's name into the wheel, getting the opportunity to get one of the gift cards, and then we're going to be putting together a collage, showcasing everybody's shots that were submitted. To submit your shot, all you got to do is just make sure you tag me. If you can't tag me, or if you forget to tag me, please tag Blitz, Green, AB, tag any of us guys so we see it. And then the hashtags are 8 for 8 and 8 for 8. And Thor appreciates you because I do. So I'm gonna throw up a couple of different posts just to keep people reminding people of the giveaway as we go through the next couple of weeks. But yeah, like have fun, do some fun humor shots, get them in there, and we're gonna be doing the giveaway. Next month, I think maybe Green could speak on it because he's gonna be bringing some stuff to the table.
So next month we're continuing the giveaway train. So I recently hit a milestone, 4,000 followers.
Yeah.
So I'm wanting to do a giveaway, and theme is going green in 4K. So,
Hey,
I love that.
It's going to be any green theme shot, anything if you're choosing green figures, green scenery, accessories, whatever. Go nuts, have fun. And so with my giveaway, I'm wanting to focus more on like helping new photographers. And one of the things that really helped me and probably a lot of us is scene building. So I'm going to be giving away a few diorama packs, stuff like couch and chair sets. There's like a kitchen set that I have that I'm going to give away. So yeah, just little fun diorama pieces to really, just help the somebody who's just starting out or somebody who's been doing this for years. Accessories can really spice up the shots. And so yeah, that's what's going to be going on. More specific details to come.
There we go.
Awesome.
And we ain't done because Blitz gonna drop some stuff on it, and he's got some stuff he's gonna be doing too.
So to keep with the giveaways going, so I'm actually about to hit 6,000 followers.
Yeah.
So for Christmas, so I want to do my giveaway is going to be a little different. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a Blitzmas music album style cover.
Yes.
So any type of Christmas themed shots with any figures, and you got to make it into a music album cover.
I love that.
And what I want to do is something a little different. We've done the gift cards, we've done the toys, we've done a lot of stuff. So what I'm gonna do, I really can't announce it until after Legion Con because I want to be able to show everybody what I have.
Okay.
I have the prototypes, but there will be 3 winners for December's giveaway. So I just can't say exactly what it is until after Legion Con. When I distribute all the gifts that I have for the guys that are going to Legion Con that I have grown very close with, I brought special gifts. And they're prototypes. So we're gonna see what happens. But that'll be definitely my wife is yelling at me because she made the giveaway stuff. Sorry. She helped me design. She helped me design them. I just heard her yelling at me. Yeah, she helped me design the stuff.
Yeah.
And everything came out pretty good.
Nice.
But like I said, I can't say what the giveaways are until after LegalCon when everybody sees what the prototypes actually are.
Nice.
But it's going to be a wonderful few months coming and going forward with giveaways from the Lazy Boyz.
Yeah.
But as for guests on the show, So not next Sunday. I believe it's the last Sunday of October. What we're gonna have is we're gonna be doing a Legion Con special. So we're gonna have some of the guys that are actually going to Legion Con on the show with us, and we're gonna just talk expectations, what to pretty much what we're looking for toy wise, what are we planning besides getting drunk, and just being able to see people and maybe seeing people for the first time as well, like and just the overall event. That's what we're gonna be discussing for that episode. Um, and then we'll be back actually Wednesday this week for the pick bar.
Yes.
But we are on the pick bar going forward every Tuesday. So we switched it from from Wednesday nights to Tuesday nights. So if you guys want to be on the pick bar, some guest hosts, and pick some amazing photos, reach out to one of us, let us know. And like I said, we'll be on Tuesday nights. Lazy Boyz will be back next Sunday. But for shows that you might have missed, Latin Legions was on 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. Tomorrow night, Ravens Across the Sand, Ravens Eye Studios, and Vico Sand. Tuesday is Behind the Plastic, Sequential Plastic, Not a Bird, Not a Plane Toy Photography, and TMNT_1987. Wednesdays is Skeleton Tomb with Skeleton Collectibles, Dead Man One, Wenzilla. Thursdays is A Worthy Addiction with Toy Addict 17 and Unworthy Collector. I can't believe I just remembered all of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
we got
there's a lot of content.
One more on Tuesday.
That's right.
Oh yeah, the knockoff show.
Yeah, me and June are going to be on with Ravens, and Path is going to be on.
Yep.
With we're going to be on episode 3 of Knockouts and KOs.
Nice.
It's a fun time talking about the knockoff world of action figures, knockoffs, bootlegs, all that fun stuff. It's very niche topic right now. It's one that's very interesting and is very money saving.
It is very much money saving.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. So it's gonna be Tuesday on Ravens Eye Studios channels at 8:00 on YouTube.
Nice.
And then the last thing I'm going to mention is our year-end episode of Lazy Boyz, when we do our top figures of the year, except we're breaking them down into categories. And I wrote it down this time. Let's see, where is it? So we're gonna do our top 5 nostalgic figures of the year, top 5 must-haves, top 5 favorite to photograph, and then your top 5 purchases, which will lead into your purchase of the year.
Nice.
And then you're also gonna have your worst purchase of the year.
Mine stayed the same.
No, mine switched. Mine switched. Awesome. I told you guys mine switched.
Yeah. Mine stayed the same.
I won't say what figure it is, but let's just say I just brought a figure, right, from eBay, and it said the figure came loose, and then I didn't expect it to be the figure literally loose.
It was loose and stuff, literally.
Yeah. Like, my man got chicken legs. But anyway, wow. But yeah, so we're going to do our end of year episode, and that'll be probably the week before Christmas. Yeah. What we will do is round robin. So we'll have people come on. They can bring on their toys and go through the category. And then if you want to stay on with us, more than welcome to. Last year we had like 16 people on at the same time in one big ass live. So definitely hope there's more people this time around that want to actually come on and do more of that. So Whack Toy Picks, if you want to come on for that as well, definitely. Absolutely. You're more than welcome to.
Fun.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, that's all I have in news. Back to you.
I think that's wrapped up. Once again, Whack Toys, is thanks again, brother, for coming on. We appreciate you.
Sir.
You know, give another plug again for your shirts, please.
Oh, sure. The website is canbenerdy.com. Canbenerdy.com.
Nice.
Yeah, you can get Iron Man, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman in the It's Hip to Be square design. And if you're a medium, you can get a Fox shirt, a Nerds or Foxy shirt.
Nice.
But yeah, all the monies just go to help us keep going 1 more month until North Carolina and Florida decide to work together.
There you go. We got you. We got you.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything? I think that's it, humble.
Nope, that's it. It's time to stop being lazy. Everybody have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you again for coming on. And yeah, I gotta wake up and be a general manager in the morning. Bye, guys. Later, fellas.
Much love, brothers.
Good night, guys. Love y'all.